It is cultivating that mindset. That's where the sauce lies.
People always ask me, Kate, how do you get your abs? It's a combination of two things. One, Oheri's workout on Monday, and two, the detox, obviously.
It's motivating, honestly, even for myself who leads the classes, seeing everyone there, excited about it and wanting to partake. That to me just keeps me going. I feel like, your body is your only vessel. So you may as well take good care of it. Do you try to maintain it? Do you try to put in the right fuel? Do you try to put in the right things into it to make sure that it is, at its optimal at all times? And I think that that's the mentality that I adopted pretty early. And I was like, I've been rolling with it ever since. I do feel like we should be able to get everything that we need from the diet, right? In general, that's what Hippocrates said, right? Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. I believe that the reason why such philosophers back in the day had this is because there was proven time, right? They were like, this is clearly what can happen. You can heal yourself. You can give everything that you need to your body just by simply eating the necessary nutrients.
And then the lymphatic system is going to be working with your pH and all the things that you're eating. And most important, that you have a movement.
It's funny you say that because I actually enjoy jumping rope a lot, right? And that's one of my go-to cardio exercises, or start on my warm-ups, if not cool downs as well. And it's actually supposed to be really good, breaking up your lymphatic system and all that stuff as well.
What are the other elements of your fitness protocol?
So those are probably my go-to 5 exercises, right? Those are the ones I really focus on. I don't really do anything else outside of that. 15 minutes if I'm feeling really good, 10 minutes on average, and 5 minutes if I don't really have much time. So then the best thing to do after that, if you're trying to build muscle, would be to actually incorporate.
Welcome to the We Are Healing in Paradise podcast, where we are cultivating the new earth by reconnecting with our true nature and healing the planet from inside each of us. Welcome back to the We Are Healing in Paradise podcast. My name is Kate.
My name is Rosario.
And we are here with our awesome friend, Oheri, and we're so excited to interview him today. We are in the center of Playa del Carmen in La Canape, and we're excited for you to join us for this conversation about fitness, being your best self. People always ask me, Kate, how do you get your abs? And I always say it's a combination of two things. One, Oheri's workout on Monday, and two, the detox, obviously.
I feel like you're giving me a little bit too much credit with that, by the way, because as they say, abs are made in the kitchen. So we're not cooking at NomadAbs, just so you know, but we are definitely doing a lot of ab exercises. So thank you very much for that shout out.
Yeah, and I never really was someone who liked crunches or liked doing ab exercises at all. And every Monday he teaches this awesome, inspiring class, 50 to 90 people show up.
It's crazy, actually. This is not something that we had imagined would grow to this size, We were just it was actually just simply me and a few friends were just working out. Leon and Horace, who just started working out, and then all of a sudden, I think Karen came into, I don't know if you know her or anything, then she came in and she was like, oh, this is cool. She recorded a video, not recorded a video, excuse me, she just shared it on her story. And then before we knew it, the next week, it was 5 more people came. And then the week after that, it was 10 more people came. And it just kept on growing and growing. And before we knew it, we're yo. And then just last week, I think it was probably one of the largest ones, 84 plus people.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're reaching for 100 one day. I'm just kidding.
So how many times have you been around Playa del Carmen?
I've been here for 6 years now.
6 years. And you always been into the fitness or?
I've always been in fitness in general, in my life. But what happened when here in Playa, I don't know. I think Playa has this magic to it, right? And some things can just happen, and then I think people are looking for this, or have hunger for this, healthy lifestyle in particular. You live by a beach, so it only makes sense that to some extent a lot of people want to look their best, because most people are not really wearing that many clothes to begin with. So, yeah. But yeah, I've always been into fitness. And yeah, I don't know. I've always eaten well, always loved to be active. I feel like, your body is your only vessel. So you may as well take good care of it, right? It's the same thing like your car. If you're going to, people go and they do all this checkup on their car. Oh, there's something wrong with my car. But do you do the same thing with your body? Do you try to maintain it? Do you try to put in the right fuel? Do you try to put in the right things into it to make sure that it is, at its optimal at all times? And I think that that's the mentality that I adopted pretty early, and I was like, I've been rolling with it ever since.
So what are your principles for taking care of your body, like your body maintenance? What are the things that you consider healthy eating and fitness wise?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the main things is definitely eating. It's always been a very big proponent of mine is to eat very well. I was actually, funny enough, I was actually vegan for 12 years, and that's recently changed or whatever the case is. But part of being vegan was because I was very interested in the recalibration of my diet and how it can affect me and everything else, right? And I said to myself when I first went on this journey, which felt like a 12-year experiment, by the way, and I said to myself that I will only stop if I ever feel like I am experiencing some type of health complications or anything of that nature. And I'm not a huge fan of taking supplements or anything of that nature. I feel like the universe or God or the planet has already made it so that we should be getting all of our food, all of our necessary vitamins and nutrients from our food anyways, right? Mm-hmm. You shouldn't have to be supplementing to get all that stuff to begin with, right? So recently I had an experience where I was starting to, feel some weird sensations in my foot. And long story short, according to, talking to a lot of people, or a number of people, they were like, that seems like a sign of B12 deficiency. And I was like, holy crap, maybe what's going on here? And funny enough, I had a dream probably about 2 weeks into this condition happening or this sensation happening of myself eating meat. And I was like, and I woke up feeling like, wow, that was good.
For the craving.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is that in 12 years, I had never had a craving, so it was just really interesting that I also happened to have a dream. And it was like having to eat meat, and I was like, "Oh, that was great, pretty delicious." You know what I mean? And I woke up, I was like, "Wait, I'm vegan. What the heck is going on here?"
So you were feeling like even the flavor and everything.
Yeah,
in the dream.
yeah.
Like a lucid dream.
It was pretty. Well, it was vivid. It was vivid. Definitely not lucid because it was just. It was very I was in it. I was not the one I was not controlling it, but it was definitely very vivid. Yes. I remember waking up being like, "Wow, I could sure go for a steak right about now." But
well, I usually used to be a vegan. I become a raw vegan in a moment. Yeah, I was really into it because I saw a video of the bad pharma. The pharma is not pharma. The granjas. The farms. The farms.
Yes. I know what you mean. But pharma was a different story.
Yeah, it's another thing. But then but then I was seeing all the humanity doing really horrible things to the animals, so I become like that vegan.
Yeah.
But I was a really bad vegan, and I feel like a lot of people are changing to a vegan diet without knowing the damage you can do to your body, because even they go, "Oh, I'm going to eat oats and bananas all day and I'm going to be fine," and then you're eating a lot of oats that could be from some sources with a lot of mold. Mm-hmm. They contain a lot of mold. Then a lot of things are impacts and everything. We talk about this in another podcast about the chemicals are inside the food.
Absolutely.
And some people, if you know how to be vegan, you need to know how to mix all the foods, and you already know this. But it's difficult in these times and this era to eat super well. 200 years ago, I understand, because we didn't have this chemical industry into the food.
Absolutely.
And I feel like us, we eat carnivore also diets. Well, fruits and vegetables and meats, but the meats is always source. We like to know what we're eating.
Yeah, where it comes from.
Exactly, because everything, even they can contain a lot of parasites. If you eat animals from cages and they live together, oh my God, it's just eating a bunch.
Yeah, it's
so it's not even both diets are bad if we have a lot of chemicals.
Yes.
For my understanding.
Absolutely, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean.
And that's why the supplements are really, you will feeling that is because of the.
Yeah, and I don't, and that's the thing is for me, it's the avoiding the supplements is because I do feel like we should be able to get everything that we need from the diet, right? In general, that's what Hippocrates said, right? Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. I believe that the reason why such philosophers back in the day had this is because there was proven time, right? Mm-hmm. They were like, this is clearly what can happen. You can heal yourself, or you can give everything that you need to your body just by simply eating the necessary nutrients, So, yeah, I don't know. It's something that seems to make sense. And here's the thing: when I was vegan, I was taking things like nutritional yeast for my vitamin B12. I guess you would call it supplement, if you will.
Yeah.
And even still then, So I'm like, What
There
happened?
is a form that normally a lot of people take is cyanocobalamin, like in this form when you take the vitamins B. And then when you change it, it could be methylcobalamin. This is a good one for the liver to metabolize, actually. Well, we love that you already know about the food, the supplements, because even for us, like, and for Kate, I feel like is the 50% is doing like exercise and taking care of your body, like sleeping well. I know I need to sleep more.
Sleep is very important.
Yeah,
Sleep is
but
very important.
sleeping and doing exercise because the movement is going to move the lymph, and then in the
Yes.
lymph we have like between 6 to 8 liters of lymph, and then the blood we have between 3.5 to 4.5 of blood.
Wow.
So what is more important in the liquids of the body? The lymphatic system, and then the lymphatic system is going to be working with your pH and all the things that you're eating, and most important that you have a movement, because if you move, even if you're doing this, like I don't think you're going to have like a mucoid plaque, like, you know, like there's people, they have these bellies and they
Yes.
feel like, oh, I'm super good. It's just a beer. No, it's full of parasites.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then that's why it's like
pot
if you
belly.
keep this movement and you make it strong, the parasites are going to get to you super easy.
Right. They suffer. But it's funny you say that because I actually enjoy jumping rope a lot, right? And that's one of my go-to cardio exercises, or start like on my warm-ups, if not cool downs as well. And it's actually supposed to be really good with releasing a lot, or like, you know, breaking up your lymphatic system and all that stuff as well. So that's actually something I sort of recently found out. So it's funny that you mentioned that. And I jump for like at least I would say at least 10 to 15 minutes. 15 minutes if I'm feeling really good, 10 minutes on average, and 5 minutes if I don't really have much time. You know?
And so you do the jump rope. What are the other elements of like your fitness protocol? Protocol.
Protocol. Hold on, let me whip out my. So I mean, I'm in the stage right now where I'm maintenance, right? So that means pretty much I'm not necessarily trying to either put on muscle, nor am I really trying to, like, you know, lose weight or anything of that nature. I'm just really trying to stay at the weight that I am. I enjoy the weight that I am. I do try to improve my strength, so that's a little bit of what I try to focus on right now. So I still focus on like a lot of calisthenic work, so that would be more so like pull-ups. I'll do dips, I will do leg raises, you know, I do my jump rope. Those are pretty like and squats, jump squats. You know, so those are probably like my go-to 5 exercises, right? You know, pull-ups, dips, leg raises, jump rope, and squats. Those are like the ones I really focus on. Like, I don't really do anything else outside of that. Sure, and if I do any weightlifting, it'll still somehow be in correlation to any of those. So I'll just put weight on my, you know, and maybe the thing that will change is probably like if I do chest, you know, just the angle of it or something, if I want to attack a certain area of my chest or whatever. But I don't really use weight all that much, honestly.
That's inspiring. So like with his workouts, we just use body weight. So it just inspires people, like you can work out anywhere, which is that kind of like the essence of your NomadAbs channel and what you're doing with that movement.
Yes. So the point of it, right, is that you should be able to work out anywhere and exercise anywhere and be able to just, you know, stay without, you know, don't make excuses for yourself. You should be able to get it done no matter what, no matter where you go. And the reason why I even started is because a lot of the people who initially started with us were all traveling. You know, and we're like, hey, listen, just because you're traveling doesn't mean that you should have to stop your fitness journey. You know, you can still be able to go anywhere else in this world and be able to pick up on it, or, you know. And so then that's why also now I think you've noticed is we are now in that other section where it's like just on the ground, right? So that way people can actually see that, hey, I just need a floor, you know, and I can still get the work done and everything else. So yeah, that's pretty much what it's become, and it's nice
that you can teach the persons how to use their body and
exactly.
You know, it's amazing that.
Yeah, and like I said, it's maintenance right now that I'm doing. So if I were to, here's what I will say: if I was trying to build muscle, these exercises will be good, but you would have to be doing way more than what we're already doing. You know, so then the best thing to do after that, if you're trying to build muscle, would be to actually incorporate weight into your plan. But you don't. And the good thing about weight is that you don't have to do as many reps. You know, so that's why that is the benefits of doing weights. Is like, so all these exercises will still build muscle. It's just the amount of reps you're going to do is different. The duration is going to take longer. Whereas if you have weights, something that will probably take you, let's say, I don't know, 5 minutes to do if you were just doing your body weight would probably take you 1 minute to do, as an example, in terms of, correlation for time and effort,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So if you have weights, it's a shorter workout. If you don't have weights, just do it more reps.
Just do it more reps.
That's basically the equation.
Exactly. Just do it more reps. If you're trying to build muscle.
Yeah.
Totally. Anyway. But otherwise, listen. But the workouts that we do, nonetheless, will help you maintain. You should if you're eating well and everything else, they can help you shred. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm happy that a lot of people are really taking to it and excited about it and everything. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, hey, but don't forget, when you travel, you can still do these things, you know what I mean? And I think sometimes people may get a little bit, I think the discipline is the hardest part of it all, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So it's helpful to have people there to get you going, like myself or the other coaches included. But it is cultivating that mindset. That's where the sauce lies,
Yeah, and I definitely love the group essence. That inspired me to keep working out. It actually was one of the reasons why I wanted to move to Playa, because I was like, I love having a community where there's so many people that are getting together and working out regularly.
Yeah.
So inspiring.
Yeah. And no, it's motivating, honestly, even for myself who leads the classes. Seeing everyone there just being excited about it and wanting to partake in it, that to me just keeps me going, and I'm like, yeah, let's keep going, let's go one more round now. Just kidding, but it's there's that excitement because you see that people. Okay, let me put it like this: when I used to train one-on-ones, there was always this, I can't because this, or this or that, excuses after excuses after excuses.
Yeah.
Here, people show up and they put out. And at the end of the day, at least what I tell people is hey, you're in no competition with anybody else but yourself. So you push yourself as hard as you can. If you need to take a break, take a break really quickly, then get back to it. I feel like I'm getting more joy from assisting people now than I did when I was actually getting paid doing it, which is crazy.
That's inspiring.
Riddle me that.
Well, you're such an inspiration to so many people to Playa. So as we always say here on our podcast, come to Playa. This is where people are healing. This is where people are getting fit, becoming their best selves. I'd love to hear from you where people can find you.
Yeah, check out our YouTube and as well as Instagram, NomadAbs.
We'll have all of his information linked below.
And you should be able to find it. Yeah. You find how to connect, and also on WhatsApp. So that if you're in Playa, you should definitely join the WhatsApp because that's where we're really active and we share all group pics and everything else. So if you want to show your family, like, hey guys, I was part of this amazing community. Look how many people there were. And you can always get there. Otherwise, you follow us on Instagram and YouTube. And on YouTube, there's actually videos you can train and follow along with so that you can actually work out. So if you're somewhere else and you're like, oh man, I want to work out that I could do here. What can I do? You can follow that, see it, follow along, and get your little burn somewhere around this corner of the world.
Yeah, so definitely we'll link his YouTube below so you can start working out with Oheri right now.
Yes,
today.
Immediately. This second.
Let's start
Get your yoga mat. Get some water. Let's go.
Let's start your fitness journey now. So we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you are listening to us, please give this podcast a good rating. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. Please leave us a comment. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another podcast. And leave us a comment and let us know if you'd like to have Oheri back on the podcast again. And if you have any questions for him, we'd love to hear from you. And we just want to thank you so much for coming.
Oh, no,
and
thank you
talking.
guys. Thank you. I know it's been a long time, setting this up, but here we are. We finally did it. Thank you guys, honestly, for having me. Truly a pleasure. And it's an honor to have you guys feel like I was worthy enough to come on the podcast. So
yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inspiring us.
Yes.
Well, see you in the next podcast.